Hi everyone, we're going to show you how to easily wire any UK plug, and we'll start off quickly with the tools you need. First of all, it's going to be a Phillips head screwdriver, so a cross-headed screwdriver, and a pair of pliers, or if you have them, a pair of wire strippers. These aren't necessary, they just make the job a little bit easier, I guess. So we'll get straight into it, and you want to be undoing the two clamp screws. These don't need to be fully undone because the plug will separate without fully undoing these. And then the screw in the middle. So you take the screw in the middle out. And this is a 13 amp plug, and all UK plugs are normally labelled up. So if you look straight away here, the right term, this terminal shows N for neutral, L for live, and then the E for earth at the top. So now we've undone the central screw, we can take the top off and you'll see the internals of the plug. And again, I believe they should be marked up in there. It might be hard to see on the camera, but you can see them if you look really closely. So there you go, an N for neutral, an L for live, and an E for earth. So on a UK plug, the right hand side, when you're looking at it from top down like this, when it's open, will always be live, left will be neutral, and the top will be earth. So I'll just finish opening off one of these clamps, because you need to fully open one side so you can fit the cable in there to be clamped. So here I have some excess cable just lying about, it's not actually for anything, and we have the wires here. And on a 3-core cable like this in the UK, brown is live, blue is neutral, and green and yellow is earth. So brown, live, blue, neutral, green, earth. Some UK cables will come unearthed, so just the brown and the blue wire, and again they're the same, brown live, blue neutral. So what we'll do is we'll put this into the plug and start to fit it up. So you always want to make sure that you have enough of the outer sheathing for the clamp to go over and clamp the wire in. You don't want to be doing this where this part of the wires are showing out of the end of the plug, because if they get stripped, it's live electricity, it's dangerous. You should always clamp over the outer sheathing. So that looks like about the right amount there. We'll flip the cable over, as we know that brown is live and the live terminal is to the right, denoted by the L on the inside of the plug, as you can just about see there under the shadowing, the glare again. So the brown into there, green and yellow to the top, earth, and blue to the neutral. So we'll start with the blue cable. This one goes straight up, so we'll just make sure we're in there, and we can see how much cable we need to terminate this. So you can get a pen and mark it if you want, but I'm just going to snip it off there myself. So you can take your pliers and just give it a little snip. Whoops. So now you can see with the cable in, there's enough cable there to go into the terminal. So now we need to strip this back, and this is where you can either use your wire cutters or your pliers, but most people are not going to have wire cutters. So if we use the pliers, you just apply about 5mm down, a small amount of pressure, and just pull back, and it should strip the wire just like that. And there you go, like 5mm of wire. And if we line this up again with the plug, you should see that once you undo the terminal screw slightly, just so you can fit the wires in, that this will slide into the plug and into the terminal, like so. And then you can tighten up the terminal. We're going to do the other two first before we tighten those up. So the blue cable, we'll twist it around here and we'll give it a snip there. And again, we'll just strip about 5mm off this, so something like that. Again, medium pressure, and just pull away and it'll sheathe it off, like so. Give it a twist. It'll be ready to be terminated. It's going to be tight, slightly long, this blue one, so we'll just trim it. And then we will line up the green cable. So that's going down there. We know that one's going in there. So the green cable, again, just make sure you're going to cut it at the length where it needs to be routed. So again, we need to be about there. With the pliers again, and snip. And again, just about 5mm off. Medium pressure again and pull. And there we have another strip cable. So we can get to actually plugging these in now. So again, if you remember what I said, live is denoted with an L and live is always brown. So we'll start with this cable straight up and into its terminal. I am doing this stood up, so it's making it a little bit more difficult if I sat down with it rested on the table. I don't quite know why I'm doing it stood up. So if we get just make sure the terminal's fully out. And there you can see it goes in there nice and tight. And you just tighten it up, and what it does is the screw presses the wire into the copper terminal, and then it won't pull away. If we do the same with the blue, just fold it around. Just make sure we're fully out in the terminal, just to make it easier for ourselves. You can push these out a little bit as well to help yourself. Push that into the block and tighten up. Just push that back down, and the yellow and green earth cable. You can push it out slightly again, just to help get it in there. Like I say, it can be a little bit stiff, the cable, and especially me doing it stood up makes it trickier. I don't know why I haven't sat down and zoomed the camera in more, but there you go. If you get it in the terminal, and again screw down. As you can see, they're all in there. You can give it a little tug, they don't come out easily. And the next thing is to put the clamp back over and tighten up the clamp screws. So we'll start with this one. Put up, and on camera is not the easiest way to do this. There we go, finally line the holes up. So you can just take it in turns to tighten them up. And what that clamp does, obviously, it clamps onto the main outer sheath, so when you pull it, the wires can't get pulled inside and pulled out. So then you can put your lid back on and your main locking screw back into the middle, tighten it up, and there you go, a perfectly secure plug. So things to take away are, remember, brown live, blue neutral, green and yellow earth, and just make sure that it's clamped in solidly, and you'll have no problems replacing any plugs or putting plugs on appliances that come without them any longer. So there you go, and I hope you like the video. Easy as that, DIY basics. Like, favourite, subscribe for more. Thanks.